The next evening, my phone rang. It was my parents. I didn't even have to look, I already knew what they were calling about. I took a deep breath before answering. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. My mother's voice was soft and overly sweet, the way she always spoke when she was about to say something uncomfortable. Hi, Juno, honey, we wanted to talk to you about this whole situation with Mylene and the cabin. I closed my eyes for a moment. I figured you would. She says you're asking her for rent. My dad jumped in. His voice had that edge of disappointment that made me feel like a teenager again. I'm not, I said quickly. I'm just asking her to help pay for the utilities while she and her family are staying there. 3 weeks in July, 5 people running the air conditioner, using the water, the lights, the bills add up. My mom didn't sound convinced. But you'd be paying for the cabin whether they were there or not, right? Not really, I replied, trying to stay calm. The basic cost is low when no one's using it. It's the extra usage that makes the bills spike. I know because I've tracked it before. There was a long pause. Then my dad spoke again. Juno, we raised you to be generous with family. Mylene doesn't have the same financial freedom you do. Her kids have been looking forward to this vacation all year. There it was, that guilt trip, like I was ruining some magical summer dream just because I didn't want to cover everyone's expenses. I get that, I said, doing my best to stay composed, but I just spent $3,500 fixing water damage at the cabin. It wasn't something I planned for, and I still have to cover insurance, maintenance, property taxes. I have limits too. That's when my mom's voice changed. Now it sounded like she was sharing a little secret. Well, Mylene mentioned something to us. She said she thought you might try to use money as an excuse, and she showed us your Instagram post, the one with the new paddle boards. My stomach dropped. I felt my face get hot. Yes, I had bought paddle boards. They were on sale, and I had saved for them for over a year. They were part of what made the cabin special for me, something fun, something I had worked hard to enjoy. But now, Mylene was twisting it, making it look like I was living some carefree, luxury life while being stingy with family. And worse, she had pulled my parents into it. That money was from a separate savings account, I explained, my voice tense. I bought them for the cabin months ago. It has nothing to do with utilities or repairs. Still, my dad said, you're drawing a line where there shouldn't be one. Families shouldn't have to make these kinds of arrangements. When you were in college, did we ever ask you for rent when you stayed home during summer breaks? My mom asked. No, but. And who gave you the money for your apartment deposit? She added quickly. You did, and I paid it back, with interest, I reminded her. She brushed that off. That's not the point. The point is, family helps family. No contracts, no conditions. As the call went on, I felt heavier and heavier. I wasn't just talking about utilities anymore. I was defending the idea that my time, money, and property weren't just up for grabs because I was single and made decent money. To them, being family meant I was supposed to give freely, no questions asked, especially to Mylene. And if I didn't, I was being difficult, selfish, even. Just as we were about to hang up, my mom dropped one last comment, quiet, almost casual. Oh, and by the way, Mylene already told the kids they're going to the cabin. They're so excited to swim in the lake and spend time at the fire pit. It would be such a shame to disappoint them now, don't you think? I stared at the phone in disbelief. It wasn't just pressure, it was manipulation. Mylene had already promised her kids the vacation, banking on the idea that I wouldn't dare be the bad guy, that I wouldn't risk being the reason they were heartbroken. But I wasn't the one being unfair. I was just finally saying no, and for once, I wasn't going to apologize for it. The message from Mylene came in fast and sharp. I can't believe you're being this petty. Just wait until Mom and Dad see this. I had been expecting her to react badly, but even so, my stomach twisted when I read it. I knew what would come next, and I didn't have to wait long. About an hour later, a group text arrived. It was from my mom and included all 4 of us siblings. Family dinner this Sunday at our house, 5 p.m. Everyone needs to be there. We have to talk about some concerning developments. My brother Jason sent me a private message right after. Mylene showed them the agreement. They're angry. Dad said it was a disgraceful way to treat family, just giving you a heads up. Then another message came in, this time from Grace, my sister. So you're standing your ground? Finally, I'll back you up on Sunday, but be ready, it's going to be intense. Her support made me feel just a bit stronger. Maybe I wasn't crazy for feeling like something had been unfair in our family for a long time. Still, I could feel the anxiety growing inside me. I had challenged the way things had always worked, where Mylene asked for things and everyone else just went along. Later that evening, while I was looking over the cabin's insurance policy to check on coverage for the recent water damage, another message came through, this time from Louis, Mylene's husband. Mylene's really upset. She's been crying all night. I know you two don't always get along, but the kids are heartbroken about maybe not going to the lake. Can't you just work something out, for the kids' sake? There it was again, the guilt, another layer of emotional pressure. This time, they were using the children as the reason I should give in. I stared at the message, then turned off my phone without replying. I was more certain than ever, I had to stay firm. Sunday came. The day felt heavy before it even began. I went for a long hike that morning, trying to clear my head. I needed to remember why I was doing this, not to punish anyone, but to protect what I had worked so hard for. I drove to my parents' home with a strange calm. No matter what happened, I wasn't going to back down. This wasn't just about money anymore, it was about changing the way I allowed people to treat me. When I got there, I could feel the tension right away. My dad gave me a short, stiff nod. My mom offered a forced smile. Mylene didn't even look at me. Only Jason and Grace greeted me like normal. Jason even gave me a subtle thumbs up as I walked in. Dinner was quiet and uncomfortable. Everyone stuck to safe topics, how the weather had been, my nephew's baseball game, a new TV show. No one mentioned the cabin, but we all knew it was coming. Then, after dessert, my dad finally spoke. We need to talk about the cabin situation, he said. Mylene showed us the contract you sent her. The word contract sounded almost like an insult coming from him. It's a basic agreement, I said calmly. It just lays out what she's responsible for during the stay, utilities, respecting the property, that sort of thing. It felt cold. My mom said, she's your sister. This isn't some stranger renting from you online. And that's exactly why I need boundaries, I said, trying to stay respectful but firm, because it's family, and history makes it complicated. Mylene finally spoke, her voice shaking. Since when do we need rules and contracts for family? We've always helped each other. I looked straight at her and asked calmly, have we all helped each other equally? The room went quiet. My dad raised an eyebrow. What are you trying to say? I'm saying, I began carefully, that family helps family usually means everyone bending over backwards for Mylene, without her doing much in return. That's not fair, Mylene said quickly. I have 3 kids, I'm a teacher, you're single, with a tech job. And I've worked hard for everything I have, I replied. I saved for years to buy that cabin, I pay all the bills, I just spent thousands fixing damage. This isn't about me being selfish, it's about me being responsible. My mom shook her head slowly. No one's denying your hard work, Juno, but Mylene's needs are always seen as more important than mine. I interrupted, because I don't have kids, right? Because I'm not constantly asking for help. My boundaries don't matter. Just then, Grace spoke up. Juno's right. Everyone turned to look at her, surprised. I've kept quiet for years, she said, but Mylene, you do take advantage. You borrowed my car last year for a weekend and kept it for 2 weeks. You've dropped your kids off last minute more times than I can count. But when I needed help moving, you said you were too busy. Mylene's face looked stunned. That's not true, she said weakly. Jason cleared his throat. It is. You did the same to me. You borrowed my camping gear, broke it, and didn't even offer to replace it. I stared at both of them, shocked. For so long, I had thought I was the only one who noticed the imbalance, but now my siblings were finally speaking up too. My parents looked at each other, then my dad turned to Mylene. Is this true? Mylene opened her mouth, then closed it again. They're ganging up on me, she mumbled, but her voice lacked any real conviction. My mom picked up her phone and started scrolling. A moment later, she looked up with a strange expression, part sadness, part realization. Mylene, she said slowly, we've watched your kids 27 times in the past year. We've lent you money 8 times. We helped you move, fix your car, and even paid your electric bill. She looked directly at Mylene. How many times have you helped any of us? Mylene looked down. I have children, she whispered. It's different. My dad leaned forward, his voice gentler now. We raised all of you to support one another, but support has to go both ways. It can't be one-sided. I sat back in my chair, feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time during a family gathering: seen, heard, supported. This fight hadn't been just about money, or the cabin, or a piece of paper with rules. It had been about years of imbalance, of unspoken resentment, of expectations placed unfairly on one sibling while others got a pass. And now, for the first time, the truth was out. Things might never be perfect in our family, but maybe, just maybe, they could finally start to change.